Bum 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 ba ba da ba dum ba ba da ba dum. Bum 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 ba ba da ba dum ba ba da ba dum. Bum 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 ba ba da ba dum ba ba da ba dum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba dum. Bum 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 ba ba da ba dum ba ba da ba dum. Bum 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 ba ba da ba dum ba ba da ba dum. Bum 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. If you remember Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, I think that song was called South American Getaways, or South American Getaway. Butch and Sundance, remember a very young Paul Newman, very young Robert Redford, and they're headed to South America to try to get away from the Pinkerton guys. That makes me feel old because I was incredibly young. Paul Newman and Robert Redford were simply very young, and Paul Newman is dead now. Dang, that's scary. And Robert Redford is not young. So, I have no idea why that was on my mind, but I just thought it made some nice background music. Now, we're going to talk about making money in advertising, and I'm going to share with you basically some things that I wrote for Radio Inc. magazine, talking about radio station and account executives and a different way of thinking about advertising. And so, forgive me, this isn't really about radio, it's about all forms of advertising, absolutely every possible vehicle of customer delivery. So anything that could be called advertising, this applies to that. Now, most people who sell it think of it as a way of giving an advertiser access to a target audience. The upside of this way of thinking is that it allows the seller of advertising to escape any feelings of guilt or responsibility when the advertiser doesn't see the results they had envisioned. The downside is that it means you can easily be replaced with another station, another account executive, a lower cost per point. But you get to sleep well at night knowing that your client paid for access to your audience and you gave them access. Now, the keys to success as a seller of audience access, the keys are, number one, be easy to be around. Make sure people like you. Number two, dress impressively. Clients take you more seriously when you look successful. Number three, be disciplined in your cold calling. You'll forever need new prospects to replace the ones you lose through attrition. Number four, pray for good ratings. Now, the less popular but far more rigorous and rewarding way of looking at advertising is to think of it as a tool for enticing customers to make purchases from your client place of business. So most sellers of access think they see radio or television or whatever it is they're selling. They think they see it that way, but their actions illustrate otherwise. These are the actions you must take to become a seller of results. It's very different. Number one, always know how your client intends to measure success. How will they measure success? Not what do they consider to be success, but how will they measure progress to goal? Number two, be certain you can deliver this success before you ask for their money. Number three, now before you can know whether or not you can deliver the success, you're going to have to see the ad copy your client intends to present to your audience. Number four, keep careful records of all successes and failures for all your clients, always. Number five, celebrate your successes. Successes elevate your confidence. Number six, learn from your failures. Failures teach you what not to do again. Number seven, chamomile tea. Understand that 70% of every success is due to the message of the ad. 70%. 20% is that you had the right schedule. 10% is due to the fact that you were reaching the right audience, the right target. Number 8, ask your clients and even your prospects to tell you stories of things they've done that worked miraculously well. Try to figure out why those things worked. Don't think of this as a way of selling. Think of it as a way of learning what advertising success looks like and smells like and feels like. Keep this up. and soon you'll be able to spot successes off in the distance on the horizon before they even happen. You'll see the silhouette of success, and you'll know this is going to work. It's a function of familiarity. Now, when you're talking to these clients and prospects about the things they've done that worked miraculously well, you always want to finish that part of your interview by saying, why didn't you just keep doing that? This is when you're going to learn astounding things. Number 9, ask your clients and prospects to tell you stories of things they've done that made perfect sense at the time, but failed miserably. The horrible smoking crater disasters that made perfect sense. It made enough sense to buy it, but it didn't work. Try to figure out why those things failed. Don't lie to yourself or to your client, and don't look for easy answers. This isn't about selling. When salespeople do this, they're always trying to just overcome the objection and close the sale, but they're not actually learning anything. You really need to be honest with yourself. Why did that not work? I can see why they thought it would. This isn't about selling. This is about learning to spot the kinds of things that don't work so that you can avoid making those same mistakes. Good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions. When you ask clients and prospects to tell you about their failures, you gain experience from the bad decisions made by other people. Other people. Their money. A smart person makes a mistake, learns from it, and never makes that mistake again. But a wise person finds a smart person and learns from them how to avoid that mistake altogether. Number 10. In these interviews with clients and prospects, listen closely and never argue or try to look smart. This isn't about selling, remember? But also, never swallow the client's analysis of what went wrong or what went right. Quietly listen and smile and keep them talking. And for the love of God, don't give them your own analysis of what went wrong, even if you immediately know what it was. Wait until your next visit to tell them. Otherwise, you're just a little prick of a know-it-all. Don't interrupt them. Leave scratching your head. Thank them for their time. Now, when you come back in the future, it's going to sound something like this. You know, I've been thinking a lot about what you shared with me the last time we spoke. Do you remember when you told me about blah, blah, blah? And how that didn't work as well as you had hoped? Here's what I think may have gone wrong. The upside of selling this way is that you can never be replaced. Your client will soon begin to think of you as a sustaining resource, a member of their privy council. Your advice will be coveted, but there are also a couple of downsides to selling this way. Number 1, it's not easy, quick, or painless. This is not a gimmick, it's an education. You've got to have patience and determination and spend a lot of time listening and thinking about what went right and what went wrong. And your boss isn't gonna like it. When you begin thinking of advertising as a tool for enticing customers to make purchases from your advertisers. Remember, your job is to sell advertising. That's how most people become consultants. It's not certain, it's not necessary, it's not the only way, but it's just the typical way. When you think of what you're selling as simply a tool for making things happen for the client, you soon realize that you can make success happen for your client using just about any media. That's what your boss doesn't like. You see, your station, your audience is no longer special. It's no longer required, because it's not about reaching the right target, remember? It's about crafting the right offer and communicating it magnetically, persuasively, attractively, seductively. Hey, your boss isn't going to like it, but he's not going to fire you. After all, he or she is smart enough to know that your entire client list would move with you to the next station. Because those clients were never buying your station. They were buying you.